I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a Falcon. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Fucking like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Damn, man. All right. Shout out to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all joining me for the latest episode of the Sports Coma. We in this thing, and like I've been saying for some time now, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, but we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Fam, what's popping? How y'all doing, man? Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream, man. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. We up in this thing. Shout out to the fam. And of course, this one, man, it's called Any Changes Yet? Are there any changes yet to speak of, man? You know, that's the big sticking point or talking point from the great Saint Think Tank and Who That Nation is, man. Where is there any changes yet in this mug? Well, it's the bye week is beyond us. We're now back into active football again, where we can focus on the next adversary. We've reached the point in the season where we've gotten past the bye. The Saints are 5-5. They're on top of the NFC South right now. Offense still is not where it's supposed to be. And they had a lot of time to kind of go over it and study on it and do whatever they need to do. And we want to find out what changes have occurred. So we'll go over it. We'll listen to Dennis Allen. We'll go over a few articles and news and notes. So thank everybody for being in the stream. Sorry, I'm coming at you guys a little late. You know, I was on the Pelican post-game report. Y'all guys know we do the Pelican post-game report stream. We also #1 independent, longest running Pelican pod in the game, the Sports Coma. The PPR came out of the Sports Coma, man. We was doing all that stuff, man. But, you know, we were doing that tonight. The Pelicans smacked down the Kings in the Smoothie King Center. We had to recap that thing, man. So if y'all Pelican people, y'all did not know that we do a Pelican pod too, y'all hit up the Pelican post-game report. Subscribe to it, man. We do it big over there as well. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream. Much love to everybody, man, for being in this thing. Let's hop to it. Let's get on into it and hop into it. We're going to start the broadcast off straight from the whothatdaily.com, baby. New Orleans Saints re-signed wide receiver Marquez Callaway. They bring Callaway back into the fold. Shout out to Niles, who wrote this article for the whothatdaily.com. Saints officially re-signed wide receiver Marquez Callaway, according to Jeremy Fowler of ESPN. While the specifics of the contract have yet to be disclosed, this reunion marks a significant moment for both player and organization. Callaway's return to the Saints brings a familiar face back into the fold, showcasing the team's continued commitment to develop the homegrown talent. Callaway's journey with the Saints began as an undrafted free agent in 2020. He spent the past 3 years has been becoming a notable presence on team roster. He had 42 appearances, 17 starts to his name. Demonstrated as valuable. He was a pretty reliable wideout at times. His impressive stats include 83 catches with over 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns, with the majority of that happened during the 21 season, where he hauled in 46 passes for 698 and 6 touchdowns. Briefly went elsewhere, Broncos, the Las Vegas Raiders, before the Saints seen him out there and said, man, let's come on, bring him back here. And of course, we know Michael Thomas is dealing with injuries. Could be out for a while. There's no timeline right now. Mike will get a timeline later on from the team. You know, as we move into the season, we'll start getting some more of these reports, but a lot of people anticipating both him and Marshawn Lattimore to be missing some games. So Callaway is an insurance policy to come in and kind of help keep things going in the right direction, so to speak, or at least provide depth and experienced veteran wide receiver with what the Saints are doing. So Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and others will have to step up their production when Michael Thomas is out, and that is the thing. So Saints add Callaway. That's the source tweet by Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, showing his statistics there as well. So I'm back, says Callaway. He's back. Now, also the Saints did they tried out wide receivers. Now, according to Aaron Wilson, he said that the full list of players, Saints hosted 4 wide receivers for a workout, and Callaway was one of the people. They also had wide receiver Tariq Black, wide receiver Jadon Hasselwood, and wide receiver Jalen Camp. Now, of course, we know the team opted to sign Callaway after the workout, and that is what it is. So Saints did try to find some help at the wide receiver position. All right, and to keep it going here, we also covered this article is the Falcons to start QB Desmond Ridder for the next game. We'll be bringing in Big Lowe's probably sometimes this week. We're supposed to be doing the round table. I don't know. We're going to figure that out. A lot of people not too happy where their teams are in the NFC South, especially my dog Dave and Rashad from the PNP podcast. They are having a really rough season, man. I feel for those brothers. The Panthers are 1-9 right now. It is not a good feeling to be a Carolina Panther person right now. Let me tell you something. So, but you know, such is life in the NFL, right? Falcons are making a QB change and are going back to the original starter in Week 12. Sources say Desmond Ridder, who began the season as the Atlanta Falcons starter, is expected to resume his role on November the 26th against the Saints. Ridder has been the backup to Taylor Heineke the last 2 games, both losses. Now, Ridder, is 24 years old, was evaluated for concussion in Week 8 against the Titans. Heineke replaced him at halftime of the game and started the following 2 weeks. Ridder is 4-4 as a start of the season with plenty of big moments, but the hope is the 2-game break during which Heineke started serves as a reboot for Ridder. Now, Falcons coach Arthur Smith had said prior to the weekend's bye that naming the QB during that week was a little premature, but added that he's considered the hamstring injury. He considered that injury that Heineke suffered against the Cardinals to be a low-grade one. In short, the QB decision would be made, injury or not. Now it's slated to be Ridder. The goal for Smith and the Falcons have been to name a starter and stick with him for the rest of the season and not go back and forth, allowing Ridder to settle in. Now, his best performance of the season came during the Falcons' last second win over the red-hot Texans on October the 8th, throwing for 329 and a touchdown, 0 turnovers. That's Ridder the Falcons want to see. Now, following his team's last second loss to the Cardinals on November the 12th, receiver Drake London said of the losing, I don't want this to become a habit of ours. We just need to switch some things up. That's it. You don't want it to be a habit, so why did you let them draft you, Drake London? Didn't you know that's what the Falcons do, my friend? You know, that's what they do. Now, listen, we're gonna talk about it, man. You know, I pick fun at my dog Loa and his squad, but listen, Atlanta Falcons have a lot of talent. The problem is they'll never realize the talent. And I'm not hating on the squad. I'm gonna just be real. I'm just a down hard black and gold football guy that respects good football. And I'm gonna just tell y'all like this: Arthur Smith is not the right guy for the Falcons, like Dennis Allen is not the right guy for the Saints. Let me tell you. And you have all these super talented people, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bajan Robinson. You have all of in Tyler Algieri and more. They have all these phenomenal athletes and don't know how to use them. Totally lacks imagination. And we know we can recognize a bad head coach because we have a bad head coach. And the guy's stubborn, just like Dennis Allen. That's the problem with bad head coaches. They have a trend or a genetic defect of stubbornness that is coupled with stupidity. And Dennis Allen suffers from that. And this other guy, Arthur Smith, suffers from that. You know, he doesn't want to turn over the play calling sheet, you know, and that's a problem. But anyway, with the original starter back and he gets rested and healthy, it should help for the Raiders. For the Falcons, excuse me. Ritter looked solid when he stepped in for Heineke at the end of last week's game, 4 of 6 for 39 yards. So they figured that he needs a reboot, and him being out the last 2 games is a reboot for the Falcons, for the Saints. It's going to be very interesting, to be honest with you. So anyway, as we flash back, we got Marquez Callaway. We talked about the tryouts they had before they ultimately signed Marquez Callaway. And then, of course, we'll mention Mr. Sigler's tweet that he had. And this is the current wide receiver core for the Saints. Chris Olave, Mike Thomas is hurt. You see Rashid Shaheed, Lynn Bowden Jr., A.T. Perry, Keith Kirkwood, and then practice squad players, John Trey Kirkland, Marquez Callaway, and on the practice squad injury list is Shaq Davis. So, you know, you see Mike is out right there, but the Saints, credit to the Saints, they've been giving Lynn Bowden an opportunity to get out there and play. So did A.T. Perry last week, got a lot of opportunities to play. Now, I wonder what the Saints do because A.T. Perry got a lot of reps because Mike was hurt and Keith Kirkwood was released so they can bring on a fullback that they wasn't going to use. But now that Keith Kirkwood's back on the team, does he usurp A.T. Perry's reps? Even though A.T. Perry did some good stuff, he dropped a few passes. He dropped a pass in there that could have really helped us, you know, move the chains. But when Keith Kirkwood is back, do the Saints leapfrog Keith Kirkwood for A.T. Perry? I really do think that if Keith Kirkwood was on the team, you wouldn't have seen A.T. Perry last game. You wouldn't have seen him. So does that change this week? We'll just have to see moving forward. All right, so anyway, fam, let's keep it bucking and moving. We'll move on to Dennis Allen, his interview. We'll go on to the Dennis Allen interview. Give me just a second to tune in. There you go. There he is. All right, so we'll listen to him and see if any changes are abound. Okay, Willie, shout out to you, brother. Says Carr still in concussion protocol. That's right, he still is in concussion protocol, which means he can't practice with the team all week, even if he clears protocol. He don't know this offense. Play Jameis, please. You know what? That's interesting because I expect him to come out of that concussion protocol probably any day now. I mean, it's been what? He was there, he got hurt in the previous game, and we went through this bye week, and I expect him to come up off that injury list. I mean, not that injury list, but off that concussion protocol sometimes this week. He gonna come up off that list, fam. You know, if he doesn't, then something really, you know, is something going on there. But I expect him to come up off that list, fam. No doubt about it. All right, Arvin says Willie Carr faked it. I don't think he faked it, man. All right. So anyway, yeah, it's just we'll see, man. We'll see how it goes. But I think Carr is going to play this week eventually. But this is hate week, family. This is one of the best times of the year. It comes right along in the same week as Turkey Day. So we got a lot of good stuff going on for the upcoming weekend. As the Saints take on the Falcons, it's going to be fun. I'll probably bring Low in we'll see if we get something going prior to Turkey Day. I don't know. It might be. We'll see how it all goes and see what his schedule looks like. But anyway, let's hear from old Dennis Allen, man, and see if Dennis Allen. I know he gave a few updates, man. We'll check that out. A Camp says, if I was Mickey, I'd be giving Jim Harbaugh a call. I felt like he would utilize all his talent and bring back a winning culture. A Camps, that's actually a great idea. Because I know he's having some issues with Michigan. He had a scandal that started the year, remember? And they've been kind of building the bound. He might be getting tired of all that stuff, and it might be time for him to come back to the pro ranks. But the only issue with that is if the Saints have the imagination to go get Harbaugh. That's the problem. Will they do it? It seemed like to me that if Harbaugh made himself available to come back to the NFL, you know who would end up with him? The Carolina Panthers would. It seemed like to me the Carolina Panthers would fire Frank Reich after 1 year, and they would go all in on an established, successful coach like a Jim Harbaugh, who would come in and get your defense straight, bring leadership to the team, establish fundamentals, offensive and defensive. He's a quarterback. He knows both sides of it. He got the game. Him and the Harbaughs are smart, high IQ football people. The father was like that. He got the two sons like that. They're just smart dudes when it comes down to football. So that don't seem like a Saint move to me. That don't sound like a Saint move to me. Harbaugh, if he came back into the NFL, it seemed like to me a team like the Carolina Panthers would go and get Harbaugh over the New Orleans Saints. I'm just going to keep it $1.15, which I don't think that's going to happen. They're not going to do that. All right, but appreciate it, bro. All right, Slim, shout out to my dog Slim. Loomis ain't doing nothing. He drunk on that spike clam chowder. Hold on now. Hold on. Let me tell you something. Hold on, Slim. Well, that's a goddamn lie there. I don't spike my clam chowder. That's absolutely disgusting. Who puts liquor in a clam chowder? I mean, that's just crazy talk you're talking. That's crazy talk, sir. Absolutely crazy. I don't spike my clam chowder. That's insane. Well, no, hell no. Yeah. Oh, no, hold on now. Our Loomis is drunk from all the Breeze Hennessy. Oh, that's just insane. That's just absolutely crazy. First of all, Arvin, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Drew doesn't drink. And I don't drink. Well, I think y'all guys are just saying any damn thing now. Well, let me put Mickey on, man. Let me put Dennis on. Talk to Dennis. Go
ahead, fire away. Yeah, look, there were certainly a lot of things that we looked at. I mean, I think, we've kind of been a little bit of a tale of two teams in that, the first part of the season, we struggled offensively, over the first 5 games and defensively played pretty well. That's kind of flipped a little bit over the last 5 weeks. So, we've got to, be able to kind of continue some of the things where we made some improvement offensively. And certainly there's still some things that we need to do better. And we need to get back to playing, the type of defense that we played earlier in the season. That was probably the biggest thing that kind of stood out to me.
I assume like when you guys go through that, there aren't like eureka moments or whatever, but like do you find like specifically you're like, okay, these are,
yeah. And I'm not going to go public with, all the different things that we kind of came up with, but, I did think we identified a few things that, will help us improve. And so now we got to go out there and do it, so, but yeah, there's not like, this, aha moment that, oh, that's the one thing that if we just do that, we're going to be fine. I mean, there's a few things that we've got to be better at.
Is Carr, Lattimore, Mike?
Yeah. Look, I think Michael Thomas and Lattimore, these are injuries that are going to take some time. So, but I think other than that, I think we're in a pretty good spot.
Like, do you anticipate IR as a possibility?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
And second opinions that they got, I assume last week kind of reflect.
I think everything I think we're all on the same page in terms of where we're at.
And is Carr already completed all the steps he needs?
No, we still got, you still got to be able to go through practice and all that. So, and I can't really comment on it.
Yeah, but he's still in the protocol.
He's in the protocol.
How much of the South Scout was trying to figure out, since Derek's new to this team, what has worked for him, what's not working in the best position?
I think there's a lot of that goes into it. There's a lot of factors that you take into account. Certainly he's a big part of it, and trying to put him in positions that he's, most comfortable, and get him to continue to improve. Like I said, I think when you go back and you look at it from a statistical standpoint, over the last 5 weeks, we've done some really good things offensively, and yet we still, need to be more consistent there. But I think a lot of the issue has been just our ability to play complementary football, offense, defense, kicking game. And so, like I said, when we're playing well, defensively, it's been pretty good. Obviously, it hadn't been that way over the last month. And then offensively, I think we've improved a lot. So we really got to find a way to get the first 5 weeks defense to show up and the last 5 weeks offense to show up, and see if those two units can play together as a team. And I think if we can do that, then we'll see a lot better results.
Let me stop him right there. And I mean, he says offense has been they've been playing pretty well. No, bro. No. I mean, spot performance plays here or there. No, DA, no. See, and this is the thing that really kind of, I don't know if it's how he phrases these things, or it's a difference between what he's saying and what my eyes see. And I know everybody's different, but your job is to be a football coach. Your job, and large portion of the job, is studying film. When you look at the film, you don't have to haggle, you don't have to argue, you don't have to fuss, you don't have to complain, you don't have to cuss, you don't have to do anything. Just go and put the film on and study the film. It'll tell you everything that you need to know. It'll tell you who you need to go and talk to about what they need to clean up and what they need to fix. Like, say, for instance, the last the Minnesota, well, the last matchup, we had the Minnesota game. We did the breakdown on Patreon, and it was several players that just had distasteful performances. Eric McCoy was one of them. We know it's Carr, because Carr was leading the Saints offense, right? And the 2 quarters in which he was playing in the 2 previous quarters of the prior game before the Minnesota game was quarters that the Saints didn't score any touchdowns. So the last 4 quarters with Carr at the helm, the Saints didn't put an offensive touchdown up. It was the touchdowns that were scored in the second half of the Minnesota game that were 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions by Jameis Winston-led offense. How is it so radically different? Because if you put the film on, the film tells you what's going on. They make a ton of mistakes. And I mean, the Saints offensively and defensively, they get beat on one-on-one matchups. Like in the Minnesota game, like I'm telling you, when you study the film shows you everything, how the Minnesota Vikings had a high IQ. They were operating offensive line and defensive line. They were blocking. They were shedding blocks. Like if you doubling the guy, the nose tackle, it's the center and the guard double teaming the nose tackle for the Vikings. And then it would be McCoy's job to then disengage and shed that guy and get to the next level so he can block the linebacker, which was Jordan Hicks, so that Kamara can then follow him to the second and up into the third levels of the Minnesota Viking defense. If that was done correctly, Elvin Kamara could have possibly, if you get him to the third level of the defense, that he's a broken tackle away from a long touchdown run. That's not what I was seeing on the tape. It was all fractured plays. Now it is disjointed plays, meaning bad play, disjointed play, then good play, disjointed play, disjointed play, good play, disjointed play. And that's how it went. And it's not a smooth offense at all. It's like driving in the car, and the car it works well, and then it starts sputtering and stopping, and you get to a red light, it conk out on you, then you have to turn the key off and then turn it back on to start the car again. That's how the offense is flowing. I'm using the car analogy because it's aptly applied here. We got a guy named Carr that drives the Saints offense, and he's not driving it very well. And I'm just seeing, and like you watch the tape, you seeing like Carr not, only looking at half the field. I had a guy and, get on here, try to explain to me in the comment section about, and shout out to you, bro, for trying to, telling me what you see. I'm not, doubting what you see, but I'm telling you what I see, and I'm looking at the film. The film is showing me, and there's no argument, there's no discussion, that Carr is not seeing guys, like he's not seeing wide receivers. And if the play was designed for him not to go to the right side, for him to throw to this particular area, then why you have wide receivers to the opposite side running down the field with their arm up? That guy don't know he's not supposed to get the ball. What I'm saying is he's not seeing the field, and maybe he's nervous. Maybe he's not comfortable behind his offensive line. He has been hurt and banged up this entire year. He got slammed down on Green Bay in the Green Bay game. I think he's gun shy. That's what I really do think. I think he been getting beat up back there, and it's mostly his fault. Like a lot of it, he sits there and holds the damn ball too long, gets slammed on the ground. The time when he got hurt in the Green Bay matchup, he was holding the ball too long, and the guy came in there and slammed him on the ground. That was on him. So I'm saying, even if you don't feel calm and cool in the pocket, how do you explain the fact you holding the ball too long? If you uncomfortable and you nervous, you should be getting the ball out faster, right? Wouldn't that be the case? It's just everything is not right here. But Jameis gets in the game, and I was breaking down the two different quarterbacks, and I'm like, everything's different. There's a rhythm in the game. Now, why Jameis looks radically different than what Carr does? Because Jameis is giving his wide receivers a chance to catch the ball. You throw that damn ball to the corner of the end zone to Michael Thomas or Chris Olave, they're going to come down with a fantastic catch if you put it in the proper area where they can make a play. That's what they do. That's what they're really good at. They're phenomenal people. They're phenomenal wide receivers. They'll do that. But what I'm seeing from this Saints offense, man, is sputtering and conking out, and this is not a good offense, bro. And I know you probably saying that, just the DA's just saying that so he don't insult his players, I guess. But maybe you need to, man. Maybe something need to be said. A fire need to be lit, some kind of way, because a lot of this is it's not a flowing offense. It looks absolutely disjointed. It is frustrating to watch the Saints play because a sure sign of a bad offense, family, is like when they get penalties, they get a holding penalty or a false start penalty, and they get backed up and they can't get the yardage back. They can't make up the yards. They can't make the yards up, or they'll get a drive and then sputter out. The guy holds the ball too long, or he'll throw it to a place the guy is not, where the receiver's supposed to be. The communication issues this far into the season, and it's just not working. So, I mean, they're going to keep riding with this dude. They're going to keep trying to sell Carr to you, but Carr has to improve. And I don't know how they practice. I don't know. I mean, if they look like what they look like on the field they can't be looking like an all-star team during practice and then going to the game like confident. Something not right here, bro. Seriously. But anyway, let's finish this up.
If they keep Harry, Michael Thomas out, just what are you kind of hoping to see for him in terms of next steps?
Yeah, look, I think step up, make the plays that are there for him to make, execute his assignments. continue to come in here and work hard. I thought there were some good things that he did in the game the other day. And then there's some things that, he could be better at. So I think with any young player, you just want to see him continue to improve, daily.
A guy like him falling to the 6th round, did you feel when it happened that they got a steal there or whatever?
Well, look, we thought he was a talented player, and really liked the skill set, like the size, like the length, like his ability to transition in and out of routes. Needed to see him play a more physical brand of football. I think that's still an area that he can continue to improve in. But yeah, we like the thought of the player.
Does the role that you maybe envision for him on draft night, does it change or does it with Thomas out or does it kind of more crystallize now that he's in out?
Well, look, I mean, I think, obviously when Mike went down in the game, his role, increased. I think that kind of position is the position that we see him playing. So yeah, I would see that he would have to have an increased role.
You're obviously going to face a team that stubbornly sticks to the run, and that's kind of their identity. Do you have a good evaluation of your run defense? Judging by the teams you've faced this year, you haven't faced a lot of the top rushing offenses.
Yeah. Look, I think we're 10 games into the season, so I think we have a pretty good evaluation of where we're at and what we need to do better, what we're doing well. So yeah, I think we have a decent feel for where we're at in terms of run defense. We're going to get tested. I think this is one of the better rushing units in our league. I think they block it well up front. I think they have a couple of runners that I think are really good runners, a little bit different style, but yet really, really good runners and really effective runners. I think they do a good job of blocking on the perimeter, which, that's always something that leads to, explosive runs. And I think they're athletic at the quarterback position, which, is something that you have to account for.
What is that about? I mean, you guys made a lot of changes up front. Obviously, do you feel like the run defense is close to where you want it? Against running back, not just the quarterback.
Yeah, I think the running back runs have overall been pretty good. It's never good enough. I mean, you're always looking at how can you improve. But I think overall the running back runs have been pretty good. It's a lot of the quarterback stuff that's really kind of gotten the rushing stats a little out of whack. But and look, I think we identified a few areas where teams are trying to attack us, whether it be in the run game or the pass game. So there's a couple of things I think, from a fundamental standpoint, from a schematic standpoint, that we've got to, we're looking at.
Trying to attack us, and that's the big part of the game, fam. We talk about what any changes, any adjustments, or to the change to what people are doing to the Saints to get success. And everybody's going to study the last several games, especially the Minnesota game. Anytime you get in this is the crazy part about the Saints. Now, a lot of people say the defense is the stronger unit of the, we got the expensive offense that's really not doing what they're supposed to do. They're so inconsistent. But the defense, what's their excuses? What their excuse is. We had several backup quarterbacks that put on like career type performances against us. I mean, did you really get a good look at once again, looking at the Minnesota film? Josh Dobbs, who is a guy for the majority of his career has been a backup. He just got to Minnesota like several weeks prior to the game. He was running around in there, he had pocket awareness. He was going through his progressions. He was pinpointing the tight end, which we said in the preview stream that they're going to use Hockenson because he just came back from injury. And Hockenson was the security blanket that a young quarterback or a guy that just came into a system would use as tight end. And Hockenson tore the Saints up in the first half. He tore him up. They didn't make the adjustment on him, but that's a whole nother thing. The scrambling QB that's moving around on the Saints' undisciplined defensive line, unable to rattle or contain quarterbacks. That's not even, man. Let me tell you something. Josh Dobbs I thought he was Randall freaking Cunningham, bro. For real, man. I thought that dude was freaking Randall Cunningham running around in there, man. For real. Josh Cunningham. That's what he was. That's what his damn name was. Randall Dobbs. He was in there running around, scrambling. He outperformed Carr when Carr was playing. He was making the throws downfield. He was scrabbling around, ad-libbing, extending plays, finding people up the field. The Saints couldn't get to him. Several times the Saints defenders grabbed them and he slipped through their grasp, to the point when I was doing the play-by-play, I was like, what is this dude? Did somebody slick him down in bacon grease? Why can't they contain and get this damn guy? What's going on here? It was crazy. But what really, really upset me about the Minnesota Vikings game was you knew they were going to do that. We said it in the preview. The reporters reported on it all damn week long. Dennis Allen talked about addressing it, as good as that'll do. Joe Woods talked about addressing it. Cam Jordan and several other Saints players were well aware about the weakness that they had in stopping that from happening. And listen, I could get upset with you if it's Lamar Jackson, if it's Kyler Murray or some guy like that, who's just so phenomenal athletically, you just have a difficult time wrangling a guy like that. But Josh Dobbs, Baker Mayfield and all these type of guys, that's what it's hitting for. So I mean, they had their focus, their concentration was supposed to be on that. They talked about it, and then the guy goes up there and tears them up. And main reason why they lost is because the inability to contain him during the first half. And it just so happened that he did enough to beat the Saints in the first half. We could not come from and catch that lead. So, I mean, it was ridiculous. Shout out to Brent, man, for the super chat. He says, for DA is a scrub. Help us, TLC. Thank you, bro, for that. Appreciate you, Brent. And yeah, indeed, man. I don't get that, man. Atlanta is going to be trying to do that. Remember in the last matchup when we played the Falcons, they were using Cordero Patterson. They were, remember that? Remember Marcus Mariota was the game when Marcus Mariota was scrambling around on the Saints. They couldn't stop him. Remember that? I was like, man, wow. So you can only imagine what happens in this matchup. Which version of the defense do we get in the game against the Falcons? What version of the offense do we get? If Carr is there, it's probably going to be a offense that stammers and stumbles because they have, it's not looking very good. Thank you, Brent. Appreciate it, bro.
Thank you. Far too kind.
I just don't understand why they're so inconsistent this late in the year. Like we in what week is this? Week 11? Man, we are deep into the season. We're past the bye week. We're lining up for a week 12, whatever it is. Shit, I'm lost. But we done lined up into the NFL season. We're deep in the season. We got the Falcons going up to their building. We're 5-5 right now. And I don't know which version of our defense will show up. And will they play the entire game? Will they play the full game, or will they give them a half a game? There is still no evidence that the Saints can stop scrambling quarterbacks. Don't matter if they second or third stringers or straight off the practice squad. Don't matter. Or some guy that just got traded. They still can't stop the scrambling quarterback threat. The entire league knows that they can't do it. And now they've been having leakage where the Saints can't stop the run. They've been giving guys like the Minnesota Viking game, Ty Chandler, the second string running back, was getting big yardage on the Saints. It's definitely a lot of slippage going on there with the Saints. Do we change something up there? Because there's some slippage going on, a lot of slippage on the defense. And it's just too many questions, and I don't know if Dennis Allen has all the answers, man.
You guys like about Jason Pierre-Paul and bringing him in?
I think skins on the wall, veteran. I think he's a guy that still has, obviously, I think he still has the ability to play. He was productive last season, and so I think, it's a good opportunity for us to bring him in, have him, start out on the practice squad, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
What is your vantage point on 18 sacks through 10 games? I know a lot of that's some ways you've defended certain teams, but
yeah, look, I mean, I think we needed to, be able to affect the quarterback a little bit more from a pressure standpoint. I don't think it's been what we need it to be, and so, that's obviously something that we've put a lot of thought into, and we'll need to affect the quarterback more from a pressure standpoint, in the second half of the season.
Oh my God. That was something we talked about during the season, during some of these games where the Saints wasn't getting enough pressure. And we talked about pressure. And I really don't like to talk about pressures unless it translates into a positive stat, like it flushes the quarterback into a sack or a turnover of some sort. It flushes him into throwing the ball early where it's an interception, or perhaps he fumbles the ball or somebody hit him, or he's pressured into a sack, that type of stuff. Any other pressure to me, maybe people count it, but I don't count it if it don't translate into something positive for the defense or for our team overall. And we've been seeing that the Saints haven't been able to get home. They have not been able to get home. They missed several sack opportunities against Randall Dobbs or Josh Cunningham against the Minnesota Vikings. They missed several sacks. The prior games, they were missing sacks as well. So, I mean, it's definitely not been trending. So I can appreciate them bringing JPP here because he most certainly would help, even though he's a 34-year-old player. I still think he can help the Saints with pressure. He can definitely get them and give us the good pressure that leads to sacks or leads to turnovers. JPP helps, just like a Calais Campbell helps the Atlanta Falcons. A JPP can help us. So I applaud that move for them to do that. And I know a lot of people say, Q, we need a quarterback. They're not going to do that, fam. They're not going to mess over Carr. They've invested $150 million over 4 years with Derek Carr. Rain, sleet, or snow, he's going to be the quarterback for the Saints, and they're going to live by that. He has to live by that. He being Dennis Allen has to live. He's attached himself to Carr, and he can't detach himself from Carr or it'll be a major financial blunder. So regardless or not, they got to stick and stay with Carr because they put all their chips on the table for him. But any other place we talking about on the team, it's like it's a philosophy change. Shout out to Brent, man. Thank you for the cash app. Brent says, hold on, Brent. Let me see. I had just had it up, man, and it went off, bro. Hold on. He mentioned, he says, for maybe we should play our running QB. Yeah, and Taysom Hill. So Brent saying maybe we should throw Taysom Hill in there. The second half of the Minnesota Vikings game, we most certainly should have used Taysom Hill a little bit more. And I know he had the drop pass, the drop catch, Jameis threw to him and he dropped the ball. But I still think we should have used him a lot more in the second half of the game. Even if when Jameis was out there, we could have put Elvin out there, split Elvin out as a wide receiver, and then had Taysom in behind Jameis as a running back and drawed the ball to him. We could have came up with some different stuff, to kind of galvanize our offense. But it's just Pete Carmichael's imagination at times, like when he runs out of these planned plays and he has to ad-lib and go into his bag, he struggles mightily. So there is still no talk, even though he talked about making changes during the bye. This is the press conference coming out of the bye or the start of the week. What changes have you had that will ultimately lead to success? Because we got to change some things. Or, are you going to move guys out of the starting lineup? Who's going to be the play caller going into the Atlanta Falcon game? You'd had the entire bye week to figure out what you were going to do. You talked about making changes leading into the bye. Are there any changes? Thank you, Brent. Appreciate you, bro, for that, man.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Man, come on, man.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on,
What's
man.
kind of the evaluation? It sounds like you guys feel like the offense was going right. What's the evaluation of Derek through first time today?
Yeah, I think as the season's gone on, I've seen an improvement out of Derek. You know.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Bro, have we seen improvement out of Derek Carr, really? I mean, it's hard to I would have to say has it really been improvement? Because if it has been, it's been very slight and incremental. Now, I've said he even improved in certain aspects, but it's so hard to do, because you want to grade things in terms of success. Like, what kind of success does Derek Carr's offense look like? This offense is disjointed, is disconnected, is not hitting. It's a disconnect between the QB and the play callers. It's a disconnect between the quarterback and his skill set players. It's a disconnect between the quarterback and his offensive line. You could tell he doesn't trust his offensive line. He's scared back there. His eyes as big as sun discs, when he's back there. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But at the same time, he's been banged up. And a lot of that's on him because he takes too long to get rid of the ball. But you know what, though? It's just watching his gameplay and I really hope this guy changes. He being Carr. Over these next several games, I really do hope this guy change and get better, man. I really do. Because what I've seen these last several weeks is not something that's worthy of $150 million quarterback for real. This is not it. Him only looking over half the field, him not going through progressions, him holding on to the ball too long, no clock, no pocket awareness to get out of the pocket and run the move and do something different. The disconnection between him and his wide receivers, the frustration that they're feeling because they're streaking down the field and he don't even look in their direction. It's just amazing. The offense has no flow with him there, has zero flow with him there. And I really do hope Derek Carr, because I'm pulling for Carr. I really do. I want to see the dude get it together because I think that he has the arm to make it work. I think he does, but his accuracy sucks at times. Like I said, if you watch the tape, like I keep going back to the Minnesota tape. Y'all got to go for the Patreon family members, man. Y'all got to, if y'all ain't see it, go back and look at it. I pinpoint all that. Like it was the Minnesota Vikings. I'm telling you, the Atlanta Falcons going to mimic the Minnesota Vikings game plan. When Carr was in the shotgun, the Minnesota Vikings linebackers and interior defensive linemen were watching Derek Carr. And soon as right after he lifted his foot, they would point at each other. And right before the snap, they had this snap timed. He didn't throw him off with the timing or none of that. They didn't even try to throw him off on the timing. The Vikings had the Saints timing perfected. And soon as he lifted his damn foot for the ball, the Vikings would point at each other and then they would shift right before he hiked the ball. And then they would come on the blitz. And twice it worked. It worked several times, but really to the point where it forced two critical incompletions on downs where the Saints needed them to keep drives alive. One of which it forced him to miss a very easy throw to a Rashid Shaheed who was cutting toward the left sideline. If he would have put the ball on Rashid Shaheed, he would have got the first down to keep the drive alive. The Saints would have kept marching. The pressure forced Carr to overthrow Rashid Shaheed. And another one was when the guy shot through the center of the offensive line, chased and flushed Carr out toward the right sideline and grabbed Carr, and he had to throw the ball out of bounds. That was also a drive killer. Saints did nothing about that. They didn't try to switch it up or nothing. You don't think Minnesota's going to emulate that? All them people have to do is study the film on what Minnesota did with the Saints. And like I said, they were playing high IQ football against the Saints in there. that offensive line were doing everything to perfection. Not only were they blocking the Saints defensive linemen, but the linemen were also leaking out off of shedding off blocks to go to the second level to push Demario Davis out of the way. Shifting the tight ends were shedding off wide receivers. They were double blocking to catch safeties to prevent them from getting to who was it, Ty Chandler or Madison, who were able to get a touchdown. He ran right on in standing up. Man, that's because the Minnesota Vikings were blocking that well. They were taking the Saints out in that game. They dominated the Saints in that first half. They really did. The Saints made the adjustment, credit to them, but the Minnesota Vikings and the Minnesota Vikings defense, especially in that second half led by Brian Flores, who was calling it, they figured the Saints' offense out, and they were really getting to them. Now, they struggled with Jameis in the second half, and I think if Jameis would have played more under control and seen the field on that second interception throw, because the first one, I believe that one was roughing the passer. They didn't call it. The guy left his feet and leaped into Jameis and hit him right in the face. That should have been a roughing the passer. They didn't call it. The second one, he just threw it in triple coverage, but they had a wide receiver that was streaking to the right sideline that Jameis could have easily found. He didn't have to force it into that coverage like that, like it was a Hail Mary. He didn't have to do that. We had time. But what I'm saying is, like, when you study the film, you can see where the mistakes were made. But when you talk about, but still credit to Jameis, because at least the offense had life. Under Carr, there is no life. It's frustration. It's funk. It's him holding the ball too long. It's distrust. It's disconnection. It's a guy that's trying to be a leader, but nobody believes in him. And what's a leader if no one believes in you? Who believes in Derek Carr? I'm not disparaging the man, but I'm just asking the question to the great think tank. What's a leader if anybody doesn't believe in him? Seriously. What's a leader if nobody believes in you? You're not a leader if nobody believes in you. And that's the problem the Saints have. The guy can't be a leader because he's not giving them nothing. He ain't doing anything a leader would do. He's not orchestrating offense. He's not putting it on his shoulders because he don't know enough of it for it to be put on his shoulders. The Saints have to run the ball to win. And in the Minnesota game, they got so far behind, they just abandoned the run. So, I mean, what's a leader if no one believes in you? I mean, seriously. Let's finish up with Dennis Allen with all his stuff, man.
There's still things that, you'd like to see better. But I think overall he's been efficient. I think he's protected the ball. He's been able to take some shots down the field when they've presented themselves. And so I think, look, like a lot of our team, I think we'd still like to see, more consistency in the passing game. There's a lot of elements that go into that. But I think overall, I think Derek's done a good job.
5-5, first place in the NFC South. Is there a little bit of everything we have still in front of us kind of mindset?
Yeah, I told the team today, okay, we're not relying on help from anybody. So we're relying on the guys in this room, and we don't need help from anybody. So it's really on us.
Obviously, fat guys go through the concussion protocol. Is it different when it's a quarterback? Does that affect how you kind of go about the preparation at all?
No, I don't think so. I mean, the protocol is protocol. Now, obviously, the fact that we've had a bye week, we've had a lot of extra time. So, without getting into too much detail, I don't think it affects much.
With Marshawn set to miss some time, is that a situation where you feel like you're just going to roll Ike over there?
Yeah, there'll be somebody playing out there. Yeah, we'll have a plan for guys to go in and play, and I think we got some good options in the secondary, guys that can play corner, nickel, those types of things.
When he goes down, does that put any more pressure on the front to get more pressure in that sense?
I think anytime you lose a player of that magnitude, I think it puts a lot of pressure on a lot of other guys. Some other guys are going to have to step up. Whether it be the individuals that are replacing an injured player, or other guys in the unit are going to have to step up and play at the top of their game. And so I think that's what we expect.
I know Cam Jordan has never been a guy who's measured in sacks alone, but what kind of a season do you think he's having, even though that number's been down there?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think he would say that, he thinks there's more opportunities out there to get the quarterback on the ground. And I think, it's been something that we've discussed is when we have opportunities to, whether it be finish on the quarterback, make a play, whatever the case may be, we've got to capitalize on those opportunities. And so I think he's still playing the run really well. I think there's some opportunities in the passing game that I think he can affect the quarterback a little bit more.
So I know you probably already answered these questions, but Derek Carr still in protocol, I'm guessing?
Yes.
And the status with Marshawn and with Michael Thomas?
Yeah, I think, both of those guys are, going through the rehab process and I think they'll probably miss some time.
I know the measurements are probably different, but how, I guess, far along is Derek, as far as getting?
Yeah, I can't get into those specifics.
With the Falcons, maybe Ritter, back to starting quarterback, what have you kind of seen from him on tape, and what does it do for you guys knowing that they're going with Ritter versus signing or having it be immaterial?
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously we've had a chance to watch how the offense operated with, both quarterbacks. So you kind of have an idea, what they like and how they're gonna operate. I mean, obviously you don't know the exact plays or personnel groupings they're going to utilize, but yeah, I think it kind of helps a little bit just knowing kind of who you're expecting to see out there. I've seen a lot of good things out of Desmond Ritter. I mean, I've seen him, manage the offense, control the offense. They do a really good job, in terms of the play action passing game. When they're running the ball well and able to get the play action passing game going well, it's tough to defend. I think his legs are an asset for him. Something that he's, particularly when you look down there in the red area, his ability to, run the ball down there, I think's been highly effective. I think, I think probably the only knock that you would say that you'd see with the quarterback is he's turning the ball over a little bit too much. And other than that, I think, I've seen a lot of really good things. And I thought when they went to him at the end of the, Arizona game, I felt like they were more efficient offensively in that situation. All right, guys, thanks.
Yes, indeed. So the question is to the Great Saint Think Tank and the entire Who Dat Nation is, the name of the show is entitled Any Changes Yet? Now, it's been, over a week since we lost to the Minnesota Vikings prior to the bye week. We done went through the bye week and we're getting ready for the Falcons matchup. So the question is, are there any changes yet? Where are the changes? Where are the changes? Where are the changes at? Wasn't Dennis Allen, we covered this on the show, we played interviews that Dennis Allen said that changes would happen. We'll have plenty of time to look at the team during the bye week, up and down on the team to see what he can find. Are there going to be any changes in the lineup that don't involve injuries? We know Marshawn Lattimore is not going to be there. Michael Thomas is not going to be there. There'll be changes there, but that's due to injury. Are there any changes to the play caller? Is Dennis Allen still going to keep P. Carmichael as the offensive play caller? Will there be any changes, perhaps, to the interior defensive line? Will there be any changes there? That's the point I'm asking, where are the changes? Because we want to see the changes. They keep saying changes, but doesn't deliver any changes. Not anything that we would believe in to think that you're serious about winning. Why is Pete Carmichael not still calling the plays? Shout out to Brent, man. He said for Soup Talk. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right, Brent. Thank you, man. And this is just Dennis Allen.
Hey,
man.
bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Where the changes at, man? Where the changes at? Where's the changes? That's the whole point of this thing, man. Where the damn changes at? You're right, Tragic, man. Ruiz stunk in that game, that Minnesota Vikings game too, man. Eric McCoy looked terrible. You're right. Ruiz looked terrible too. McCoy was pulling on screens and not blocking anybody. James Hurst did it. Cesar Ruiz was getting beat. And it's like they don't pinpoint this stuff out. Like, I thought the job of tape, when you show guys film and they screwing up on the tape, you're supposed to chastise those guys. You're supposed to tell them what they're supposed to do. And if they keep doing it, you need to pull them out of there and put somebody else in there that will do the damn job, or at least teach them a lesson. The Saints don't do that. Guys screw up and they still play. That's no accountability. The team's not going to improve. I don't care if it's a veteran-led team or not. You still have to make them accountable. To if you do wrongful things, you have to, on the field, off the field, regardless or not, you have to be accountable. And it's just, it's none of that. And that's why the team is up and down. It doesn't play inspired ball. Dennis Allen is not a disciplinarian. Guys screw up and they still can play. He doesn't say anything about it. He just sets up an excuse make. Derek Carr is not having a good year. Derek Carr is struggling. And you're right on it, Tragic. Derek Carr is obviously hurt. When we seen the guy from several games ago pass and just tap him on his ribs and he bent over like he was in pain, I was like, what the hell is this? What is this? And then I knew something was funny about it, and I always document and say to the family members how the Saints always falsify injury reports. And I said that they was doing that all throughout the Sean Payton era. Like, they would underreport these players being hurt. Derek Carr obviously has something going on with his rib area. I said it several weeks ago. I said, I think that dude might have, they saying bruising of the chest. One of the injury reports we covered was talking about his chest area being bruised. I don't think his chest area. I think it either bruised ribs. He could be very well playing with busted ribs. How he got slammed down in that game, that Green Bay game, when he got hurt and he got his shoulder hurt, and then they took him he was taken via ambulance to an hospital to get x-rays done on the rest of them. They don't do that just because of some separated shoulder. I mean, they do that, but it was other stuff going on too. Like, and we seen it when the guy passed by him in the game and tapped in the Colts game. I think it was when the guy tapped him on his ribs and he balled over like somebody had punched him in the gut, to the point where I thought the guy punched him in the gut when he flew by him, but he just tapped him and he bent over in absolute pain. And I was like, well, that would explain why his passes are not accurate, why he's not able to deliver those short passes, like the intermediate stuff where it's on time. That would explain a lot. If he have bruised ribs or busted ribs and a bad shoulder issue, and they still out there trying to make the man play. Shame on him for doing that. Shame on them. I can understand. Then again, I can't even say if I understand if that's the case, if that's the scenario that's going on, that I can understand that if you have like an inexperienced quarterback playing behind him, but you got a guy who, if you need to sit Carr down, and this would be the proper week to sit him down and prepare Jameis for this entire week, because the dude is still on the damn concussion protocol list right now. But I guarantee you, that even though right now Jameis is getting first team reps, as soon as the NFL says he can get, or the medical doctor say he can come up off that list, he gonna be stuck in that game with very little preparation. Even if it took up to Wednesday, hell, it take up to Wednesday. Oh, Carr's back. Oh, he's gonna be. You got a couple days before the Falcons game. They're gonna stick him in there, ill prepared and everything. So I mean, it's just the foolishness. It's just ridiculous, man. But I asked the fan, where are the damn changes that we were promised prior to this week starting, when the Saints embarrassed themselves and the entire Who Dat Nation in the Minnesota matchup, where they let a backup quarterback. The guy wasn't even on the team 2 weeks prior. He was traded there, and the guy looked like he was playing there the whole time. It was so embarrassing that I thought that Could you imagine what the score would have been if Kirk Cousins was playing and Justin Jefferson was there? How embarrassing the Vikings would have beat the Saints with Justin Jefferson there. It was almost like Justin Jefferson was there. How they just took the Saints apart. It's just crazy, man. It's crazy. But no changes, man. No changes from Dennis Allen. He says to people, and it's the second time he's done that this year. Well, we're gonna be changes. Some people jobs gonna, and then there was no changes. When you gonna change? Is there gonna be a change as offensive coordinator? This happened several weeks back. They asking them in the presser. They're gonna be changes? No, there's no. Well, I'll let you know though. But there's no changes after the distasteful loss to the Vikings. A week or so after that, in the bye week, no changes. Carmichael still calling the plays. Soon as Carr clears concussion protocol, they're gonna stick him in the starting lineup. Even though the man, you could tell the man is hurt, man. The dude ain't ready for no football. He ain't ready. Skittish and everything back there. Dennis Allen's not a coach, bro. All right. Arvin says Carr stole 150. No, he ain't steal it, bro. The Saints gave it away to him. Dennis Allen is the one, man. Dennis Allen gave it to him. And Mickey upped him. All right. Brother Prime says, Q, Saints, I really feel that this team has no confidence in Carr. I think that Dennis Allen and Pete and Mickey Loomis got confidence in Carr. They got to. They got to play this confidence game with you, man, and they got to stick him in there because it's too much money they gave to this man. Like the kind of money they gave him is like, that's probably what, the biggest contract since what they used to pay Drew Brees. When they gave Drew all that money, basically a blank check, they paid out Drew and they give this guy a 4-year deal at $150 million. So they got to lean on him. And really for the majority of the season up to this point, he hasn't been healthy, even though he's not even on the injury list no more. They took him off the list a couple of games ago, even though the man's still hurt. So soon as he clears concussion protocol, that's what one of the family members asked me earlier in the show, do you think he plays? And I'm like, soon as he's going to clear that concussion protocol sometime this week. Soon as he does, Dennis Allen going to stick him in the starting lineup. That's just what he's going to do. It's not even a question to me. He'll get in there. Gardner says, let Carr play hurt for $150 million since the only way we'll get our money's worth. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. All right. Atlanta GA Faithful says, anyone in chat got a score prediction for the Falcons matchup? Okay. I'll give you one, man. I would have to say, 20 to 17 Saints, 2017 Saints, something like that. 20 to 17 Saints. Now it depends on who the quarterback is. If it's Carr, he clears concussion protocols. It's just, I don't know. Carr is just, he'll give you one touchdown. Maybe, I don't know, man. Because he's just so bad back there. He's not, it's just weird because, he'll hit on a good play. He'll force the ball down there, get a big pickup, and then can't move the ball after that. And it's just really weird, man. It's really weird. But I don't really think he gives us very much. Maybe a touchdown if we're lucky. And then they're going to make Blake Grupe kick most of the time. So I'll probably be something low-scoring game like 20 to 17 or 17 to 14, 17 to 13, some kind of garbage like that. It'll be somewhere around in there. I don't really see Carr like coming in and just taking over and all. I would love to see him go in there and just take the Atlanta Falcons apart. But for what I've seen so far is that he doesn't have a full handle on the Saints offense to know exactly what they're doing. Plus, he doesn't trust his offensive line. Plus, he doesn't have any harmony or continuity with his wide receivers. The Saints don't really run the ball as well as they're supposed to because the offensive linemen don't show up to play every game. McCoy stunk the last game. Ruiz looked terrible the last game. He was blowing blocks. He couldn't defend, all this, Hurst was getting, Andrews Pete was getting just demolished by Danielle Hunter. That wasn't even fair. Danielle Hunter put freaking Andrews Pete in the blender when he spunt off of him, and Andrews Pete didn't know where the man was. He he might as well thought the man was a magician, man. He just disappeared in front of his eyes. He was looking both ways, like, where did he go? Where did he go? Where did he go? He didn't know where the man was. The guy had knocked your quarterback to the ground. So, I mean, it was, that kind of thing. So it's very, very strange where we at as an offense right now. And we spent a lot of money on that, man. Yeah, I agree with you, bro. Both coaches need to go. Arthur Smith is not, and I talked about this earlier in the stream. Y'all not going nowhere with Arthur Smith, bro. I don't know what's going on with that Bijan Robinson thing where they refused to play him, but Arthur Smith needs to go, bro. He needs to go. He won't relinquish the play calling sheet. He's not really. He has zero imagination. You need somebody to have with imagination that can use them players that you got. You got fantastic players, and a non-imaginative coach who likes to run the ball all the time. No, he needs to go. And Dennis Allen needs to go along with him. Let him go somewhere else and farm a semi-pro lingerie team somewhere. Just get the hell out of here, man. It's just they both need to go. They both suck. They really do, man. They stink. All right, Slim says Carr has never been an above average QB. Loomis bought a lemon. No, actually, bro, when I was watching film when he was with the Raiders, man, he was doing a lot of different stuff with the Raiders. He was actually playing confident football. You can go and watch his film right now. He was playing very confident football. But I just think, just to be fair, Carr looks bad because, and I really do believe a lot of people saying Q, when I say this, they're like, man, Q, stop it. Carr's just trash. Like, nah, bro, it's a reason for everything. It really is. I really do think the dude is, and I've said this all year, I really think the dude is really more hurt than what they telling us that he is. I think something going on with his ribs. He might have busted ribs and they shooting him up with the painkiller. So he go out there and play because of the fat contract that he got. He don't want to take hits. I think he is, he's not comfortable with that offensive line. The Saints also don't make it, the play callers don't make it easy on him because they don't take the pressure off of him enough. Like, get him in there. He could throw a play here, get him in the rhythm, but turn the game over to like Alvin Kamara. Your best chance to win games is with AK-41. Now, if we got to find a fullback, and that's what I've been saying. If we got to find a fullback and another blocking tight end to getting there to help drive this ball along, then let's do what the hell we need to do. If we got to bring in a powerful fullback from somewhere and go in and punch them holes open, let's do it. But the Saints don't use a fullback. They always run these guys naked, as I call it, naked, where you have Kamara hitting the hole and meeting up with Jordan Hicks and Jordan. You know what I'm saying? You put a fullback in front of them. Let the fullback punch the hole open, or at least take out the linebacker so Kamara can get to the second and beyond. Let's use that. So add some more of these tight end plays where we can maul these guys out, wear these defenses down and stop relying on Carr as much. Implement Taysom Hill to throw a little bit more. Perhaps bring Jameis Winston in on some plays so he can be able to operate and have a couple of passing plays and to kind of shake things up. You see what I'm saying? Do something, man. Do something different than what the hell you've been doing to try to get some results. All right, Brent says for Carolina dry rub, baby back ribs. Come on, man. Carr is, bro, listen, thank you, bro. Carr is, I really do think Carr is his baby back ribs. I think Carr's ribs, man, I think they're busted, man. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the dude is a lot more hurt than what they're leading to. He's been hurt all year long. His passes are inaccurate. And I think the dude is a lot more hurt than what they're hitting on. And the thing is, it is all bad. And they are now tied into him and they can't sit him down because it looks bad. Then they will really get a lot of negative press and they know they done tied themselves to it and they can't turn the ship around. They got to go forward. They got to go through the iceberg field like the Titanic. You done steered the man and told you, hey, dumbass, this iceberg season, do not take your ship through them icy waters up there because more than likely you'll probably run into an iceberg. For real. They told them people that before they did that. That's why a lot of people was thinking there was some funny business going on I don't know about to drop some Titanic logic on y'all, man. Y'all need to look this stuff up, man, because a lot of the stuff they show is movies. But it's so fitting to what we're talking about with icy waters and icebergs and sinking ships, because that's what we got with the Saints administration currently headed by Dennis Allen, who's leading the Saints ships into icy waters. Now, originally, if you go research it, you'll find out with the Titanic that they told them not to sail through that area because it was iceberg season. They were instructed not to go through that route because you more than likely would run into an iceberg and end up sinking. Prior to them sailing out, they put out notices on the about man, y'all, it's deep stuff going on, man. They sent out notices prior to that ship taking off to warn people about to give them like a disclaimer about what could happen at sea with the ship and all that. And really, the ship wasn't even full. It wasn't a full ship or whatnot. So I mean, there's a lot of sneaky stuff. A lot of people believe they sank that ship to pay for the insurance money, in which they did collect on the insurance money. They believe that they switched the ship's logs for another ship's sister ship, which it was severely the hull was damaged in a hull fire when the ship inside the harbor. So they were trying to collect on the ship because the guy ran it through the iceberg. He wasn't even supposed to take that route. He was supposed to go another way, but they said that they were running late, so they took a shortcut through there. But that's a little different. That's just game on it. Well, a lot of people think it was an insurance game, which I don't put nothing past them. It makes sense. But this is what I'm talking about in terms of with the Saints. The Saints are taking this same route where they running their ship aground in places they don't need to go. They can't turn it around because they done invested all this money into Carr. And Carr is now the dude that's supposed to guide them through all of this stuff. They can't put Jameis on top of the ship and make him be the leader of the ship anymore. They got to run with Carr because this is the thing. They got to operate with Carr because they gave him the money. And if they pulled them off of that thing, you and I and everybody else would be saying, what the hell is going on with the Saints? Because Carr is not at the helm, and then it'll be a whole bunch of stuff about them making mistakes. It's crazy, man. It's really insane. It's stupid all at the same time. But the man is hurt. He should really not be playing, man. So anyway, Mr. Don says, Allen, he says, like most coaches, has an ego. He's not going to do the opposite of what everyone is suggesting, and not that he should do because he wants to be right and everything else. That is correct. Thank you, Mr. Don. Absolutely. You are 100% correct, sir. And even though he hears all of that, and yet it's ego involved. But sometimes, man, let me tell you something. When the heat turns up, that ego disappears. All that disappears and it turns around and it goes all wrong. Once thing when the heat turns up, when the desperation turns up, the ego when people get pissed and the heat turns up, notice how ego dissipates. When people get upset and they're not going to the games, and then all that disintegrates, that ego disintegrates, and then they fold in, and then they start doing all that other stuff that people told them to do. But see, usually that's supposed to be making Loomis to step in, because sometimes, most of the time, the people not telling you the wrong thing to do because they standing outside looking at the team and they know about football. They're not novice to this. They know what time it is. We know what works and what don't work. You know what I'm saying? But it's just one of those things, man. But anyway, man, it's just one of those things, fam. But listen, I just thought that I didn't see any change from Dennis Allen. I'm going to be real with you. I didn't see no goddamn change. I don't see Dennis Allen changing anything. All I see is what I've been seeing is the same old stuff from Dennis Allen, the same old crap, the same old garbage. There is no change philosophy wise. There is no change from an offensive coach standpoint, which was what we were waiting for to see who was going to be the play caller. Was it going to be Ronald Curry? It's the same thing. That's what makes me think these people are not serious about winning. If you struggling all over the place and you keep bringing the same people back and talking about consistency, man, it don't work like that. If you want something different, you got to change something, man. All right. Thank you, Brent. Brent got a lot going on here. He says flimsy like a McRib sandwich. You said yeah, he actually got bad ribs there, my friend. He got baby back ribs and everything. Thank you, Brent. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Far too kind.
So the changes, fam, that we was looking for, it didn't come. And I wasn't hoping. I kind of knew what time it was when we asked the question, are there any changes yet? And the changes is not such. So can we beat the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta? And listen, let me tell you something. It's a race to see who figures it out first. Even though the Saints can't seem to, if they beat Minnesota, they kind of take a step in the right direction. They leap forward by a game of, they extend and create some room between us and the rest of the NFC South. That ultimately is it evaporated. And the reason why the Saints are holding the lead is because other teams are losing. Atlanta lost. They had an opportunity to win. They lost the game. And that's the issue, fam. That's really the big issue of everything that's going on. The reality at the end of the day is that the Saints are not there. They are winning right now because everybody's losing. They're winning because everybody's losing, not because they're winning because they're winning. They're winning because everybody else is losing. But what happens when everybody stop losing and they start winning? What do the Saints do then, huh? What the hell do they do indeed? Avis says, my name is Avis, and I think the Saints need to rent a new car. The current one needs a new transmission. There you go. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you there, Avis. That was a good one. Gundam says, I think the Falcons will come out hungry and aggressive. Dennis Allen has lost his team. This team is divided between Jameis and Derek. Check out the body language of the players. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you there. And Barbara, shout out to Barbara, says, correct the mundo. Yes, indeed. Gundam says, yes, indeed. All right. Arvin says he's agreed too. What's up, Colorado? Shout out to you, man. Yes, indeed, man. All I could tell y'all in the end, man, is that we gonna see, man. I just want to see some change. I want to see these guys make the changes that's needed for the team to win and move ahead. Sooner or later, probably more sooner than later, all this is eventually going. Your Saints is going to do. Their luck is going to run out, and these NFC South teams are going to start winning. And really, it's not a big separation between us, the Falcons, and the Bucks. The Bucks won. I want to say, didn't they win? I know the Falcons and the Saints had bye weeks. I don't know. Y'all remind me. Let me hold on here. Let me pop that up. Let me see if I could pull up this NFC South stand. Let me pull up the standings right quick for the Saints. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, the Bucks lost. So, but really, family, there ain't that much space between the team. Falcons on a 3-game slide right now. Both Falcons and Tampa Bay 4-6. Carolina's 1-9. They're out of it. But that's really not that far off. That's not much difference between the Saints and the Falcons. If the Falcons beat the Saints, they beat the Saints. They can. They're 5. They'll be 5-6, and the Saints will be 5-6, and the Falcons will leap ahead of the Saints. Tampa Bay already on the tiebreaker right now with the Saints. They beat the Saints early in the year, so I mean, it's really not that much space between us and everybody else. It's not like they're radically ahead of everything. Like, oh yeah, we got a 2-game lead on everybody. That's not what's going on here. The Saints are, very catchable. If the Falcons beat the Saints in this matchup, they can surpass. They can take the lead in the South and push the Saints down. And if the Falcons and the Buccaneers win this week, the Saints can slide. They very well could slide down to 3rd place because Tampa Bay beat them. Atlanta would have beaten them. That would have dropped the Saints in 3rd place. So our time is running out. We got to be able to figure this out. We need our offense to step up and handle its business. And we need to do what we're supposed to do here, man. And I just don't understand and don't see how we supposed to change if they are not making any changes. I mean, they just keep doing the same stuff. How we supposed to do anything? How we supposed to get good sense here and do anything? But anyway, fam, that's going to do it for me, man. I'm going to get on out of there. What's up, Ramsey? Shout out to you, man. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. Yeah, and I saw a few family members mentioning they saw me on TV. Yeah, shout out to y'all. Thought I might sneak that past y'all, man. But y'all, I should have known better. I tried to sneak that past y'all, man. I said, let me go on over here and do this right quick. They won't know. They won't know. They said, man, they said, bro, I seen your ass up there, man. I said, hey, man, let me go ahead on and sneak this past their ass. They won't know. Shout out to, what was it, Maria? Maria, she sent me a message. She said, Q, I seen you on TV. I said, I don't know. I might have a doppelganger on there. All right. Yeah, man. So anyway, man, listen, man. I'm going to holler at y'all on the flip side, man. Listen, I appreciate y'all for being on the show. Yeah, man. Q is my middle name, man. Q is my middle name. Yeah, but yeah, fam. But yeah, I was I try to sneak that past the family. I ain't gonna lie, man. Black Suede called me and her like I said, hold on, bro, what the hell you doing watching that, man? He said, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. I try to sneak that past y'all ass, man. But y'all just too clever, man. Y'all caught me, man. All right, so anyway. Anyway, shout out to the fam, man. I had a good time, man. She's super cool, man. That's a cool ass chick, man. But anyway, much love. Oh, do you AK Camp? She said, oh, really? That's what it was. Okay. Yeah. She's like, hey, how it was, tragedy. You started yelling. hey. That's cute. Oh, man. All right. Prom says Alan changed his mind to change it. Yeah, bro. I don't know what's going on, bro. Thank you. Prom. Appreciate you, bro. But I don't know, man. I just feel like we're going to see, bro. It's a long season. We still got several games left to go. We got Atlanta. This is hate week. I think a week, sometime this week, we're going to pop up and talk to them. I'm going to see if I can get them on, set up something for the Wednesday stream the day before Turkey Day. That'll be cool for us to get there and kind of talk about the Atlanta game. It's also the Pelicans. Pelicans play the Kings on that day, so we'll see it. We'll see how it works out, man. It might be Thursday. Thursday might be Friday. We'll see how it all goes, fam. We'll get it all together. But anyway, I'm gonna get ready to get on that. Listen, man, I appreciate y'all, man, for chiming in with me tonight. I hope y'all have a fantastic rest of y'all week, man. And we'll pop up on Tuesday. Our Patreon family members will go over the latest news and notes from the Black and Gold, man. We'll cover it all on our Tuesday Patreon special. So with that being said, man, I'm going to get out on that. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a good night, man. And I'll let y'all on the flip side. Much love. And who dat?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who dat. I'm a who dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a who dat. Lose or winning, I'm a who dat. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who dat. I'm a who dat. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a Falcon. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, fucking like this, and I'm a who dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a who dat. Lose or winning, I'm a who dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
whothatdaily.com. That's right, the whothatdaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who Dat and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, whothatdaily.com is your site. The whothatdaily.com for the sport Who Dat in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out